The all or nothing mindset holds so many women back from actually making any progress when it comes to their health and fitness, but also in most areas of their life. And they believe that they need to be all in or nothing at all, which then creates a lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm, and obviously a lack of results because they're not doing the work. And let's face it, life does happen, and you're going to end up falling off track or whatever you want to call it at some point. But the reason why you are not making progress is because you think that you have to do everything perfectly in order to get results. And that's when most women stop trying. When something happens, when life gets in the way, when their boss has annoyed them, when their partner's pissed them off, they just throw in the towel and think, I'll start again next week because I'm sad and I need to eat a takeaway, or because I can't go to the gym tonight because the kids have kicked off and that's throwing my routine, so I might as well quit on everything else. They burn out. Women burn out so quickly from attempting to do too much at once. So I can't tell you the amount of conversations I've had with women on Instagram that are talking me through what they do with their health and fitness, but they tell me what they were doing last week and then tell me what they're planning on doing this week, and I'm not surprised that they end up quitting. Most women, so many women, will start like a new diet on Monday and they'll have the intention of going to the gym 5 to 6 times a week, even though they've barely been to the gym twice in the past 6 months. Or they try to drop their calories ridiculously low after, overeating for the past 6-7 weeks. And look, it's not realistic, and they're literally setting themselves up to fail from the get-go. And it's why so many women just don't get results. And I also hear so many women say they've tried so many things, and that's the issue. They've tried so many things because they're trying to be perfect at doing so many unrealistic things that then they don't actually get results. A lot of women end up just feeling paralysed by the idea of imperfection, and they've set their standards so high in their career, in their family lives, and they just expect it to be the same with their health and fitness. They end up waiting for that so-called perfect time to take action, which obviously never comes. And again, I can't tell you the number of women that I have spoke to over the years that haven't joined Level Up because apparently it's not the right time. Now look, I appreciate everyone has things that happen in their lives, but there's never going to be a right time because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There might be a more ideal time, but what are you going to do when that ideal time has hurdles along the way? Are you going to just throw in the towel and quit? What are you going to do when this so-called perfect time, the right time that you've been waiting for so long, suddenly has a huge spanner in the works and you can't do what you need to do? And it could be something as simple as something happens with the kids and their plans change, or their school clubs or something like that changes when you would normally go to the gym. Like, are you just going to throw in the towel? Women set far too unrealistic expectations of themselves when it comes to their health and fitness, and they feel like failures when they fall short. On the flip side of that, they also, other women, don't set high enough standards when it comes to their health and fitness, and we need to find that happy ground in the middle. I am all for pushing yourself harder than you could ever imagine. I am all for pushing you to achieve things that you ever thought was possible. But I'm also all for being realistic with someone. And if you are at the start of your journey and you are wanting to lose weight, get fitter, get stronger, whatever the goal is, don't set yourself up to fail from the get-go. There has to be a bit of realism in there. There is no point you telling yourself you're going to go and do all these unrealistic things and on Monday everything's going to change and we now can't go out for social events, we can't do this and that. There's no point. It's not going to happen. Life is for living at the end of the day, but also life's for living in a healthy way. And we've got to get that right balance. Failing is essentially waiting for the perfect time to start. Failing is trying to be all or nothing. Failing is not doing anything about how you feel despite moaning about it every single day. That's what failing is. So if you're worried about failing, stop with the all or nothing approach, because you are literally setting yourself up to fail from the get-go. A very close friend and coach of mine said this once. In fact, he said it so many times, and it's something that really sticks with me, but I also remember it every day. And it's that everyone's got that quote that goes around in their head all the time, and this is something that I've really, really remembered. It's really helped me, especially this year, just in terms of my health and fitness, but also business and also life in general. It's better to be consistently good than inconsistently great. It's better to be consistently good than inconsistently great. There's no point you trying to do things at a ridiculously high standard if you can't sustain it. And there will become a point where you can. There will become a point where your standards have raised so much, and what you currently do in this moment will seem, use of a better word, pathetic compared to what you're going to do in 6 months' time. But right in this moment, focus on where you're at. It's better to be consistently good than it is to be inconsistently great. Stop getting caught up in the perfectionism mindset, because it's not going to get you anywhere. Running a business has taught me so much about this. Like, so much. You have just got to keep showing up regardless. You've got to keep putting in the work, even when it's not right, or things aren't going the way you want them to, or other things are getting in the way. You just have to keep going. And it's the exact same with your health and fitness. Consistency will beat perfection in the long run every single time. Make those small steps every day to move forward. It's as simple as that. But another thing, which is kind of going to contradict what I've said so far, but I'm going to explain it. You've also got to be prepared to outwork yourself. You have to be prepared to work harder than you've ever done before. You've got to find those extra 1%, and you've got to show up regardless. Instead of thinking about what past you would do, think about what future you would do, because I guarantee the version of you who has got the results that you want will be working a lot harder than the previous version of you. I get so frustrated when I hear people say, I've always done that. And it's like, okay, well, by you always doing that, you are always going to stay how you are. And as far as I'm aware, you're not happy how you are. So you need to let go of that and stop thinking about what you've always done, and start thinking about what you're going to do. What would future you do 3, 6, 12 months from now? The person that's achieved the results that you want, what would they do? They wouldn't quit when they can't be perfect. They'd still get stuff done regardless. They'd show up for themselves. They'd do the work. They'd put in the effort no matter what is going on. And again, I know that there will be a couple of Karens listening to this. By the way, if you're a lovely Karen, I'm just using this name because this is the name that gets thrown about, so apologies. But there will be a couple of Karens listening to this going, Rach, you don't know what happens in my life. And I don't, right? I don't know what happens in your life. But what I do bloody know is I've worked with enough women to know that as long as you keep going and putting in the work, you will get the results. And also, there is someone out there right now who has way more going on in their life, that has had bigger problems, bigger hurdles to face, that has gone through maybe more traumatic things than you, whatever it might be. There's always someone out there that has gone through more than you, that is busier than you, and they are doing way more than you're doing right now. Because they're not sat there moaning about it, and instead they're sat there cracking on and getting the work done. If you are not where you want to be, it is because you have not done the work. It is no one else's fault. Take responsibility for it and take action. As soon as you stop blaming others and you start to be accountable to what has happened and where you're at and whatever else is going on in your life, I promise you the game will change and you will get results. But women struggle to do that. They struggle to put their hands up and go, this is on me, I need to do something about this right now. So that's your call. You need to work out what progress or success or results look like to you. Think about how it looks, how it feels, the impact it's having, the changes it's going to make on your life, the changes it's going to make on other people's lives. Get so crystal clear on this, because once you do that, in those moments where you want to give up because you've not been perfect at everything and something's happened, you won't give up. You'll be so dialed in on your goals that you'll take action regardless, even if it's not the so-called perfect action. You'll just show up anyway, and that's what matters. And on that note, a lot of people say they know what their goals are, but not a lot of people are that dialed into them that they'll do what they need to do regardless. So if you are listening to this and you are someone who maybe gets easily swayed, or they self-sabotage quite easily, go back to the drawing board and work out why are you actually doing what you're doing. Like, what do you want to achieve and what does that look like to you? Get so clear on it. Not just, I want to lose a bit of weight because I want to wear a bikini and feel confident. Why? Like, why do you want to do that? What impact is that going to have on your life? What impact is that going to have on the lives of those around you? Get so clear on it. You need to then break your goal down into smaller, more manageable steps. So let's say, for example, your goal is to lose 4 stone. You're not going to do that in your first month. So instead of focusing on the 4 stone, let's focus on the first 4 pounds. You could do that in 2 to 4 weeks. Then you need to work out what you need to do to lose that. And for us, this is where we come in with our clients, because we'll give them the exact blueprint that they need in order to be able to do that. So actually all they have to do then is worrying about taking action. They don't need to worry about the guesswork that comes with it, because the guesswork's taken out of it by us. They've got the blueprint, they follow it, they are guaranteed results. Simple as that. But we break it down. We just break it down into those small manageable steps, because if we don't, they're going to get so overwhelmed, and when something happens in life, they're going to give up. If you can focus on the small steps, those small steps will accumulate over a period of time, and before you know it, you would have achieved the bigger goal without actually realising the amount of work and effort that you have had to put into it, without realising how much time's passed as well, because you'll just be so focused on the small steps that they will compound and get you the result that you want. And look, you need to focus on showing up, even if it's not at 100%. Just crack on and get it done. You showing up even when things aren't perfect is so much better than you throwing in the towel. So just keep the ball rolling every single day, even if it is you doing the smallest thing because something has happened that has meant you can only do one thing instead of the 5 things you normally do. Just do it. It does not matter if it's not perfect. What matters is you keep going regardless. And if you keep going regardless, you will outwork most women out there, because they won't do that. Because they will just have a takeaway when they've had a bad day, because they need to reward themselves for getting through it, or whatever the reason might be. Just show up for yourself. And ask yourself each day, what's one thing today that I could do right now to get myself closer to where I want to be? And if you can do more, right? I covered this in one of my previous episodes, but women don't like working hard with their health and fitness. Again, the amount of conversations that I've had with people who basically haven't signed up to level up because they're not the right fit, because they just want the easy way out. You can't have the easy way out with your health and fitness. You need to crack on and do the bloody hard work regardless. So I know I said, what one thing can you do today to get you closer, but obviously you need to do more than one thing. So if you can do more, do more. Just get it done. All or nothing thinking will create massive, almost barriers to your progress. You're literally just setting yourself up to fail. You don't need to be all or nothing. You just need to do the work, even if that means that your 100% looks different each day. That's fine. You don't need to do everything perfectly. Life does happen. Things get in the way. Stuff will be sent to test you. So it's fine. Just do what you can on a consistent basis. Outwork yourself. Think about, what would future you do who has achieved the results that you want to achieve? Would they quit when things get tough? Or would they keep going regardless and do as much as they could? I think you know the answer. So to wrap this up, keep going, don't stop, no matter what the day looks like, no matter what could get in the way that day, no matter what your boss or partner has said. Just show up, because honestly, you cannot beat being in shape and feeling incredible in yourself. I hope this episode has given you a kick up the backside, and I hope you're going to say goodbye to that all or nothing mindset and actually just learn to get stuff done regardless, even if it is not everything perfectly every single day, because doing things consistently good is so much better than doing things inconsistently great. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know what your biggest takeaway is, as always, over on Instagram at Rachel Solway Level Up, and I'll speak to you on the next episode.